the need to dredge the Oder River has been one of the lessons learned following the June 3 floods. Now, how far has the Assembly gone in clearing silt from Accra's biggest drain? Gladys Osei-Redu has more.
The Accra Metropolitan Assembly has begun dredging of the Oder River at the Old Fadama site. This exercise, which started last Saturday, is expected to allow free flow of water into the Kwale Lagoon from the Oder River during this rainy season. The dredging is ongoing now, and we are yet to know how long it is going to take the AMA to actually get the Oder River actually fully dredged. We're going to get some residents to talk to and find out if they're happy about this exercise and what the anticipation is really like. Are you happy about this exercise?
Yeah, I know it very well. Yeah, Konkoma, the time we start Konkoma for so 1982, 83, the gutter is not like that, but now they take fridge and then TV, luggages and things, lock the Kwale Lagoon, so we want to express ourselves to do everything so that government want to do. We know what is going on now. So I say fine. So I say I didn't na obi odija or market who ya bola who makaya bola on fa bola na mfanko and na odi bola no ba begu anu msi enye fine e was city so what I say nti be say nyamu ye no me ya mi de pass munye mi kan hwe munye na enye fine no bia ho ntonu at the same time so mosquito no so doors malaria typhoid fever then things you see, so you like it I love.
But one thing which causes the problem of us here, majority comes from AMA. They allow us to stay and they allow, how can somebody build without permit? And now problem come on us now. And then the same people are in the forward now that we should move. Madam, is it fine?
So, but basically, are you happy about the exercise?
100%. I'm happy about it. Because this will prevent us from so many problems which we are facing. And they are the cause of all these problems. AMA is the cause of all these problems. See how cars lay for the roadside like this, all from AMA. So I'm very happy about what the government is doing.
No, I don't like.
Why?
See my picking. I get small child. I get 3 pickings. Don't get room. Now I'm managed small. So to sleep somewhere.
You're not happy that they are dredging the gutter to make way for water to go so that those places get flooded?
I want it like that, but the other side is too much. It's too much for us. My room is there inside. I don't think my room will go down like that. So now that is me.
Sorry about that, but thank you.
In a related story, some residents in Old Fadama, popularly called Sodom and Gomorrah, are still struggling to access potable water a week after their homes were demolished by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Now, water supply to the community was cut as a result of the demolition exercise, which saw scores of wooden structures owned by the squatters demolished. Joy News' Anil Sabute visited the area and now reports.
It's almost a week since the Accra Metropolitan Assembly entered this particular community, Old Fadama, popularly called Sodom and Gomorrah, and flattened wooden structures here because residents here are largely blamed for the choked Kwale Lagoon, and which sometimes when it rains, I mean the water is unable to seep through the gutter. And since the demolition happened, most of them have been left with no shelter. Most of them have been left at the same time with no place to get water. I've come here this afternoon and you could see that there are pipes that were ripped out of the demolitions, and that's where they are scooping water. It's been much more of a very, very tense and a difficult one for some of them. They've been struggling, scrambling to get water. And I'm just going to speak to some of them to find out how difficult it has been for them since you know, their homes were flattened. And this is the only water they rely on. And for how long, I don't going to get it. Oima Etisen. In so Mubono, since more than AM for the Yabayano. In the Asala Musamus.
I hear saying so much to pipe Musa, I said,
pipe no almost breaky pipe no and Nahimi.
Oh, I call by 1 week. I call 1 week, and so I do. Well, you're so very, I'm going to pop a bed, so many so very remain. I didn't so near the empire. Lights in one of my end, I can't so in so over my what church, we never church pipes in 9 times, so I call 1 week, and you're so glad.
Now, would you say, in so well, Mubun say, meaning say, sometimes Mubu in Sona Mutua, now say with a free mom.
Ah, said the interminus, and said, and the police for Nijina. Why is on the pipe near the beer, Pamu be as be a bully free? Because I want to be a new baby, have a buso. It's police for Nana, my acquaintance will be a bully free.
Okay, so you can tell right now that there's a bit of a struggle among the residents because everybody is trying to sort of get a bit of the flowing water. And it's like, it's a daily ritual here because, like the lady said, I mean, for days they've not had water. Since the city authorities entered here and they flattened their homes, the pipes were equally broken. And because of that, there was no water coming through. This is what they have to rely on for now. And so it's a bit of a challenge. It's a struggle anytime they come here. They have to struggle really hard before they can get a bucket of water. A while ago, one lady was telling me, for example, that she's not even taking a bath for 2-3 days. So it's a kind of a very dire situation for them. But for how long will this particular water continue to flow for them to have it for free is another discussion that they will have for themselves in the coming days. My name is Anil Sabute, reporting for Joy News.
Meanwhile, the Northern Development Forum is asking the National Disaster Management Organization, that's NADMO, as a matter of urgency to treat last week's demolition exercise carried out by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly at Old Fadama as a disaster issue. The group is suggesting that a refugee camp be set up to accommodate the displaced persons while they find ways to reorganize their lives.
The Northern Development Forum, an advocacy group for the integral development of the 3 regions of northern Ghana, described the mode and timing of the demolition exercise as inhumane.
To demolish during rainy season, during fasting, and during BAC exams. I mean, we could have done better than that. We could have really done better than that. And so we are not against, like I said, the demolition per se, but the mode of operation, the manner in which it was carried out, as if it was done in an angry mood. First of all, they were informed that they were going to demolish 100 meters from the main road. And what they did went beyond that. It was more than 200. Now, who gave the instructions? Who supervised the operations?
The group is asking NADMO to build temporary shelters for the displaced persons, especially women and children who have currently been left at the mercy of the harsh weather.
After all, those Liberians who came from Liberia, the Bujumbura people, they are not Ghanaians. But when they were stranded and they were here, didn't the government find them a place to settle? How much more your own people? You have given 6 months information. You can't even prepare a place or a temporary tent and say move in here, and we will now tell you exactly the plot or the land in which we want you to go and move. That is our content. Sometimes the government does things or people do things without thinking about the consequences. Is this a discrimination?
The Northern Development Forum is also appealing to corporate Ghana and individuals to come to the aid of the victims who are still stranded in Accra.
To some health issues now, and the Ghana Medical Association will be holding a crunch meeting today to brief its members on the state of their deliberations with government over their working conditions. The association last week threatened that they will resign en masse on July 1 if government failed to meet its demands. Now, negotiations between the 2 parties went stale last week after the failure to sign an agreement on the latest condition of service. Speaking to Joy News earlier, the Deputy General Secretary of the association, Justice Youngson, stated Members will convene at an extraordinary general meeting today to look at the issues at hand pending the July strike.
The truth is that no definitive negotiations have taken place as we speak. No date has been fixed. All that has been said so far basically borders on some document that has been christened the framework document that will be, quote, a guide for our negotiation. That is all that, as we speak, we've basically finalized or we have spoken about. But in terms of the true negotiations where government, as the employer, will have its representative or its team, and then the medical association will also have its negotiating team, the two parties sitting together on a table, discussing details or specifics of what should go into the conditions of service of medical doctors and dentists in Ghana. That has not happened as we speak. There hasn't been any. It's really difficult for me to accept that the employer is truly committed. But like I keep saying, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We still have a couple of days to go. So maybe they will come to the negotiating table. Maybe it could be today, tomorrow, the next day. I can't tell. But I think that so far, looking at the trend of events, I wouldn't say there's that sufficient commitment. There may be some commitment, but I don't think I have seen, in my personal capacity, I don't think I've seen that sufficient commitment. National Executive Council of the Medical Association met yesterday together with the fellows who are like a council of advisors, and the council has mandated that an extraordinary general meeting be convened on Midday for all members to come in, because that is more or less the last day. So we'll convene, and then whatever directives that the General Assembly will give, it will be carried out, we trigger the processes, and that is it. Come Monday, we will go and meet. Members will be briefed on all that had happened from 9th November till that day. If there are any development between now and that day, we will still brief members. And based on whatever has happened or not happened, the processes will be triggered, whether all the things as we sort out, which is not in the public domain, at our General Assembly the last time in Takrade, which is how we are going to go about this. If all that we sort out then is going to be triggered wholesale, fine. If they want to alter it because some developments have occurred, that will be up to the General Assembly.
Well, let's get the very latest on the outcome of that meeting, and I'm joined over the telephone lines now by my colleague Matilda Omega, who is actually standing by with someone. So, Matilda, one more kind of report. What's the situation now?
Well, I can tell you over 1,000 of the doctors from across the country are expected to attend at this meeting. So far, many of them have started coming in the next few minutes. The meeting is expected to take start. The information I'm picking from the GMA executives is that they are done with the signing of the framework for negotiations to begin. They did that on Friday. So today, this morning, they started with the negotiation process. It's just the first stage of it. And so they are just going to report back to all the doctors in the country. And then from this meeting, we're expecting that the doctors, not the executives, the doctors will take decision on the way forward for 30th, which is tomorrow. It's supposed to be the deadline for all these issues relating to condition of service to be addressed. So they are hoping that the doctors will take the decision this up. So we are still hanging around because it's a closed door meeting. We are not going in. So after they are done with their meeting and discussion, and when they arrive at the decision, that is when they will be meeting the press and then speak to us on the way forward.
But you tell us that the meeting is yet to start. Is that the case?
Yeah, the meeting is just about starting.
It's just about starting. Okay.
Yes.
Matilda Omega will be coming back to you for some more on this particular one. That's my colleague Matilda Omega bringing us up to speed on that particular subject matter of the doctors threatening to resign en masse. We're taking a break here on News Today. We'll be back shortly with some more. Don't go away. Some youth of Oboabo in Kumasi have staged a demonstration against the Sokorimampo Municipal Chief Executive for alleged negligence and lack of concern. They accuse Nuruddin Hamidan of failing to extend the bridge which links the community to the city center, resulting in perennial floods in the area. Correspondent Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
The predominantly Muslim community is the worst hit by floods following Saturday night downpour. Amid wild chant, the protesters vented their frustration by mounting roadblocks and burning lorry tires, which disrupted vehicular movement. Police had a tough time trying to restrain them, but to no avail.
This time around, they decided to hit the road by blocking the road. It may sound normal to them, but on the general societal usage of the road, they may not have that singular right. Others also have the right to use it.
This is the main drainage system in the community. Over the years, it has been a no-go area for road users whenever it rains. These excavators were dispatched here to desilt the drainage, but residents say little had been done to address the challenge. They want Alhaji Hamidan either to see to the rehabilitation of the bridge or step aside for someone who can.
When it rains, our main problem is the bridge, because the water does not flow. If authorities do not break down this bridge and reconstruct it, we would be at great risk.
The other lane, side and side, you're too concrete in the coast.
We have big men who should be addressed, who should be told what to do and what not to. So now we are able to convince them that they should, what do you call it, extinct the water, the fire, so that cars will use the bridge as normally.
Tempers were high among businesses and individuals some months ago when the power situation in the country affected virtually everything. Now, what's the situation now? Hanodame finds out there are mixed reactions depending on your location.
Has it improved? Has it normalized? Or has it worsened? I am talking about the power situation. We are on the streets of Accra to find out how it is in various homes. I have with me Kumasi. Kumasi, where do you stay?
Actually, I'm staying at La Paz.
La Paz. How is the power situation there?
Some are better, but sometimes you also do find that with unexpected, then you say they will give you the light off. You sometimes have the 24 hours, then sometimes 12 hours. I mean, it's inconsistent.
So I live in Kokonui vicinity. It's as bad as it has been since, and I think it's even getting worse in the sense that these days you can't even buy it to stock in the fridge. You have to buy in bits, and that's more expensive. That's how bad it is. And for those of us who are working mothers too, it has a toll on our productivity in that you have to prepare fresh meals every day. You have to get to work on time and all that. So the power outage is really not just affecting businesses, but it's affecting lives and our productivity as a whole.
So how long does the power go off in your home?
Okay, the power stays on for 12 hours. It goes off for 24, sometimes 36 hours.
I live in Teshi, Camp 2. We haven't had power for some time now.
When you say some time now, exactly how many days?
For about 4 days.
Continuous?
Yes, continuous. And even when it comes, it's very erratic. It comes in the morning, maybe 9 o'clock. By 12 midday, it will be off. And it will be off for a couple of days. It's terrible.
Have you found out if it's a fault in your area or it's the continuation of the power management?
Well, I have not really bothered myself to find out. It's been the same for a very long time, so I don't bother about it anymore.
I live in Kumasi. Yeah, the power situation hasn't improved that much, and the most painful aspect of it is that it's very erratic. It doesn't follow any routine.
And have you found out if it has changed in any way?
No, when I call my brothers, they said nothing has changed.
Okay, I stay at also, but now there is a little bit okay.
When you say a little bit okay, does it mean?
It's not like the first, right? It's not like the first, but let me say in 2 weeks they'll take it off like once in a week or something like that.
But at first?
First, yeah, every day, even 3 days square.
I see you're excited. So when was the last time you had a power outage?
I think 2 weeks now.
2 weeks now. Mixed reactions from the streets of Accra. The Power and Energy Ministry will explain to us exactly what the situation is currently. My name is Hannah Odaming for Joy News.
President John Dramani Mahama has sworn in 2 justices he recently appointed to the Supreme Court, Justice Yawapil and Justice Gabriel Pamang, until their appointments were operating from the Court of Appeal. The 2 justices have been vetted and confirmed by Parliament. A ceremony to confirm them as Supreme Court judges is currently underway at the Flagstaff House, from where Seth Kwame joins us. Seth, good afternoon and thanks for joining us. What has the President been saying?
Good afternoon, Chen. The President congratulated them and told them Ghanaians are looking up to them. Ghanaians expect a fair judgment and that they should always do their best and come up with judgments which can stand the test of time and which will instill confidence in all the parties involved. And he says we are also looking forward to them to ensure that corruption is dealt with in this country, and also their rulings must be such that the lower court can refer to their rulings and to help them in the determination of cases. And the judges have been telling the President that they are grateful for the appointment and that they are not going to disappoint the President. They will do everything possible to uphold the integrity of the Constitution.
Seth Kwame, thank you very much for that update. That was Seth Kwame reporting there from the Flagstaff House. Time now for... Investing in either the capital or money markets has become difficult for several Ghanaians owing to the current economic challenges. But analysts say the economic uncertainties rather present great opportunities for investments Ghanaians should look out for.
Amidst a somewhat unstable economy, investment opportunities abound. On the front of the capital market, some equities are performing well, leaving the stock market an investable destination. The money markets present mutual funds with good capital gains and income for the fund investors, while treasury bill rates become attractive, with rates currently pegged at about 25% per annum. Some Ghanaians, nonetheless, remain skeptical investing in such times.
I won't at all, because looking at how the trend is at this very instance, I think it's very hard for... If I am an investor, I won't. Maybe I'll prefer to go somewhere else instead of Ghana.
I don't want to gamble with my money in this current economic crisis that Ghana is experiencing. Even if I'm going to make any returns, maybe just a little. I want so much money to make. No, I'm not going to. Unless the economy changes, the cedi and the dollar, 4 cedi to $1, I can't, unless it comes down.
So quite obviously, a lot of people wouldn't want to invest their monies in the economy, whether to buy T-bill or any other financial instrument, because of the instabilities that they have had that is in the system, regardless of how it would deprive the economy of the monies needed to run it. But what do analysts have to say about this?
If you are looking to invest in the long term, especially for the capital market, because that's where we operate, then I think it is the right time to come into the market to try and get some good equities or investment, but at a cheaper price. But at the same time, also saying that for those who are looking to invest in the short term, it's also a good time to invest as well. You look at how the treasury bill rates has been rising. If you take the 91 days, for example, for those who don't want to take on any risk at all, the treasury bill is a good option for them to come in.
The best thing to do in times like this is to look for investment securities that will give you higher returns. 1. 2 is not to get attracted to those only higher returns, but securities that will make sure, that will give you additional security in terms of making sure that should anything happen, will your money be paid back to you.
Although inflation is on an upward trajectory, investment analysts say it should not deter investors.
It is true, inflation is going up, and that is also the very reason why you shouldn't keep the money in the bank account and let it just be. Imagine putting 10 cedis in your bank account, let's say your current account for 1 year or even 6 months without touching it, and then investing that same 10 cedis in treasury bills for 3 months or 6 months. Even if you get 2 cedis on top of it, you're still better off than leaving the money in your account without doing any work for you.
While analysts want Ghanaians to invest more, they also warn against investment instruments with outrageous rates.
How can you invest and get a car? How can you invest and get a house? You know, and I blame the Bank of Ghana. They are there. They hear these things going on, you know, lottery, gambling going on, and they do not act on it. So every investor should be careful that they should watch if the government of Ghana is giving at least 25%. If anybody is doing anything, 5% or 6% percentage point above the treasury bill, you should be mindful of that.
Ghana may be experiencing macroeconomic challenges for now, but while government works on its stability, Ghanaians are expected to take advantage of the investment opportunities, a move that could assuage the brunt of the current difficulties. Abigail Adamakwenchi for Joy News.
Chief Executive of Star Oil, a Ghanaian-owned oil marketing company, Vincent Kaleji, is advising the youth, particularly those with entrepreneurial skills, to face the risks that come with starting a business. The founder of local OMC, Vincent Kaleji, sharing his experience with Joy Business, maintains rightly dealing with risks is what makes entrepreneurs successful in business. He also urged startups to ensure they form good relationships with established businesses and maintain their credibility in their work.
Many Ghanaians, especially the youth, they don't want to take risk. You see, they fear taking risk. What about if I fail? You must be able to take risk. And many people, you see them, the young ones, or they will be telling story, we wanted to do business, but we don't have the capital. And I ask them, what is the capital? Honesty is the capital. I'm telling you, I started without a person, but with honesty. But look at it, I have a company in China now. It's a matter of taking telephone. No, I need so dispensers. Because I have established the relationship. But these Ghanaians, he should ask you of 10 cedis. Oh, I'll bring it tomorrow. The next day he's dodging you. When he says he's dodging you, what is the honesty? I believe seriously that honesty, integrity is just the capital.
Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Victor Bampo, says his ministry has begun a competitive process to find a vaccine to Ebola treatment. Now, the minister was speaking on the AM show earlier with my colleague, Mama Viu-Usoboji.
You know the role that His Excellency the President played in getting the world's attention to making sure that we have an effective barrier against Ebola. It is in this same light that I think African leaders appealed to international organizations to help to find a vaccine and some medicines for Ebola. So I think through a competitive process, the University of Health and Allied Sciences bid to be one of the sites for doing an Ebola vaccine trial, and they were successful. However, I think that, like the Honorable Minister said in his speech, his statement to Parliament, because Ebola evokes so much fear, I think perhaps the public education could have been done a bit better, because things then got a little bit out of hand. And I think the positions are absolutely legitimate. It's within the rights of people to know what is happening, and I think that they raised the right questions. I think Parliament raised the right questions. So I also think that the Honourable Minister set a clear way forward about how we could go about it. I think it's something that has not happened in this way before, and I'll tell you why. Hohoe is a center of international repute. So they've done more than 30 clinical trials there since it was set up in
Hohoe?
Yes. Since it was set up in 1986 as a WHO center. That was where a drug called ivermectin was tried out for what we call onchocerciasis or river blindness. That was where we did some tests to show that chloroquine was no longer effective as a drug for malaria. So it's a place that has collaborated with so many organizations, the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland, USA, WHO, UNICEF, and so on. So its pedigree is unparalleled. So I think it came naturally that perhaps because they have the infrastructure and the people to do the work, it would be chosen. We also have a Food and Drugs Authority, which by law, the Public Health Act 851, is mandated to look at, to review applications to do these kinds of tests. And so the law in itself was followed to the letter. FDA has the mandate to form what they call a clinical trials committee. There was an ethics committee that looked at it. So it was done in that way. I think the lacuna, where there was some kind of gap, was that, as has been done so many times before, since 2004 we've had 54 applications to do clinical trials. 43 have been approved. 26
and carried out?
Yes. 26 of those were.
When we talk sports on News Today now, in our very first story, only 5 goals were recorded in week 20 of this season's First Capital Plus Premier League. Now, the biggest scoreline of the weekend was recorded at the Barbara Sports Stadium in a game involving Asante Kotoko and Bichim United, which was 2-1. So we check out the results. In the other matches, the BRC defeated Midday SC by a 1-0. Accra Great Olympics, Liberty Professionals, Olympics won by a 1-0. Kumasi Asante Kotoko managed to beat Bichim United by 2-1 with Heart of Lions. They drew 1-1 with Bekum Chelsea. Ediana Stars was 1 in favor of Ediana against Wafa and Hazakes. They managed to halt Ashanti Gold's final run by beating them by 2-0. BA United also played out a 1-1 game with Accra Heart of Oak at the Sunyani Coronation Park, and in Allies they were at home to Wow Stars and they drew 1-1. So we have to check the standings on the Ghana Premier League table, and the first 3 on the table, that's Ashanti Gold. Despite their defeat, they still occupy the first spot there, so they have 37 points after match day 20, 10 more matches to go. Ediana Stars are second with 32 points, while All Stars are third with 30 points, with Heart of Lions are 14th with 25 points. There is Olympics. They are still languishing in the relegation zone despite their victory over Liberty Professionals at the Accra Stadium. They are 15th with 22 points. And BA United, it doesn't look like things will go well for them. They have 16 points. They are 16th with. So we check the scores on the Ghana Premier League table, and Nathaniel Asamoah still leading with 13 goals. So if it happens that we are ending the Premier League today, Nathaniel Asamoah now becomes the top scorer in this season's Premier League. Ametu of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, he has scored 12 goals, just 1 behind Nathaniel Asamoah. In Kennedy Ashia, Liberty Professionals, Stembafo Asari of Bekum Chelsea, Fussein Nuhu of New DBRC all have 9 goals, and players that have scored 8 goals, Gilbert Fiamenyo of Accra Heart of Oak. There is Noah Amati of Bichim United. There is Mohamed Yakubu. He plays for Ash Gold, and also Kofi Owusu of Bekum Chelsea. All of them have scored 8 goals respectively. And Sharif Dio Mohamed, Mumuni Zakaria of Wafa, Martin Entry also of Wafa, 7 goals apiece. So away from the Ghana Premier League, we can do some more stories and the scorers chart and of the CAF Confederation Cup as well. We can check what happened in there. So we just have to look at the CAF Champions League. So this is what happened over the weekend. Al-Merrek, they defeated MC El Umma. If you remember MC El Umma, they were the side Kumasi Asante Kotoko played with in the preliminary stages of the competition. They defeated Al-Merrek by 2-0. And you look at Entente Sportif, they were at home to US Medina of Algeria, and that game finished 2-1 in favor of Medina of Algeria. TP Mazembe, where Ghana International Solomon Asante plays his club football, they managed to draw with Al Hilal at home there, and FC Sumwa defeated Maghreb of 10-1 by 3-2. So now we can check the Confederations Cup as well and see what's going on there. So the CAF Confederation Cup, where Congolese side AC Leopard. So we just check the results quickly. We just check the results quickly and see what will happen in the CAF Confederation Cup. Sahel of Tunisia, they defeated Stade Malien by 1-0. AC Leopard, lost to Orlando Pirates of South Africa, and Zamalek also defeated Club Sportif Sfaxien by 1-0. Atli, it was a cracker yesterday. I watched this game, the Atli Esperance game. Ghana International Harris Nafo played a part in that game actually, and he did so well, but his side lost by 3-0. It was just unfortunate. So there is more on the CAF Confederation Cup and all these other stories. You can also catch up the Stephen Appiah testimonial at the Accra Stadium, the images, all the interviews you need to know, the things that the guys that came at the Accra Stadium said about Stephen Appiah. You can catch all the highlights of the testimonial, the interviews, and everything you need to know about that, and more other stories at 2 with Nathaniel Atto on Sports Today here on Joy News Channel. Thanks so much for joining me here. The news continues with Chen Hili. Stay tuned.
Well, apologies for those technical challenges there, but just before that, well, I was telling you about the decision by the Supreme Court of the United States to legalize same-sex marriages, and on the back of that, my colleague Hanodame has been speaking to some Ghanaians on what they make of that decision.
50 states in the United States of America have the legal backing of the Supreme Court to go on and marry themselves, that is, man-to-man. Here in Ghana, we are assessing people's feedback and thoughts on this particular decision.
In the animal kingdom, you cannot even say that. So God in his own wisdom made man and woman. So if we talk about legalization, we should not even go there. I don't think.
But the U.S. has gone there. They have legalized it for 50 states.
Yes, excuse me to say we have a lot of crazy animals there who say they are human beings.
You mean in the U.S.?
In the U.S. No, in the U.S.
The Supreme Courts, the judges that starts on this?
Oh, they are human beings. You can't say goat, he goat, and he goat coming together to even practice that. I think we should end it there.
I think that thing shouldn't be legalized in Ghana because casting our mind back, what if we see, if we check the Sodom and Gomorrah, what God did to them, I think it is not good. And legalizing this, it brings curse upon the nation as well, and even the people and the leaders and everything.
What kind of curse would that be?
Well, for that one, I don't know, but what I know is generational curse. They have brought curse upon themselves, because for now, they will not see anything. But in the future, they will get to know that they brought a big curse upon themselves, which is not going to help the generations ahead of us.
I don't think it's normal, and I don't pray it comes to African country, like Ghana, where I am, but I'm a Nigerian, because I think in the Bible, that's the same reason why God destroyed the Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't think it's nice for our generation.
You agree with me that the big men of God in the U.S. also prayed, but the Supreme Court decision?
Oh, I don't know how it sounds. They prayed and all that, but I believe our own African great men of God, the prophet will have, they will pray better.
Well, that's it for the broadcast. My name is Kobna Chencheni. For more news, however, do log on to myjonline.com. Enjoy the rest of our broadcast.